Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Here in blog post, we want to share with you, of course, review the latest in social media and technology. This is from one of our favorite companies, reviewed a number of their products under the JBL line, Harman Kardon, which Harman Kardon owns JBL and several different other sound and audio companies. This is their newest and latest, greatest AVR, their audio-visual receiver. It's their 3700. It's a 7.2 channel network-connected AV receiver with AirPlay, and also works with your Android apps and iOS device, which is very cool. Let's take a look at some of the different features that come on this baby. Now, with this bad boy, what we're getting is 7 times 125 watts. So these babies are going to be able to power your massive speakers that you have. 8 HDMI inputs that do dual HDMI output also, and a full 7.2 preamp outputs. It's got USB front panel jack for audio playback or iPhone, iPad, iPod devices. It's got 4K video processing and upscaling. So this thing is built for the future when you get your 4K TVs. It's got DLNA, V-Tuner, and USB play from the front panel. Dolby Digital Plus, pretty much all the Dolby Digitals, let's just call it that. DTS, etc. Second zone audio system complete with the Zone 2 remote. So pretty freaking awesome in all the things you can do with this Harman Kardon. It's a very beautiful device, easy to connect. It's got great sound with high current, ultra-wide bandwidth amplifier for distortion-free sound. You can play the music via USB. It's got a programmable system remote control and easy connect. So it looks really awesome, and we're pretty excited to check it out. This thing should have some incredible sound, and it should go with the JBL 590C speakers, or 590BK speakers that we have. So let's go ahead without further ado and check it out. Okay, so let's take a look at the box opening we're taking and do on this. We're going to pull some of the toys in the box. Now, you can see here it's got a really beautiful remote control. Very, very nice remote control. Very big, too. We'll talk about that as we go through the review process. So you can see it here. It's a beautiful, nice device. Very impressive. And, of course, it learns and everything else. It controls the menus on your receivers, and just a great remote control. Very hard to lose, too, given its size. They also give you a second remote control, which is really smart. If you want to set up a second zone to take and control another area, a second zone of sound, you can take and use this remote for that second area. So we'll show you that and how it works when we get into it. But really cool, you can create 2 different zones of sound with this system. So we're going to go and pull it out of the box here. And it's a very heavy device. Let me put it this way. It's very heavy, very well built, and it's a big baby. So, but it speaks to how much good hardware they put into it and how well built it is. So we'll separate off the styrofoam here, and the of course the wrapping paper that it comes in to safely ship it. Just a really beautiful device. I can't say that enough, because it just really is. It's definitely impressive. It's something that you'd love to show off in your home and impress people with. Okay, so here you can see the back of the Harman Kardon 3700. You can see how it's colorized and utilized. We'll go through the breakdown of this. It's a little hard to see and light well without blowing everything out, being black on black. So we'll go through this, but you can see here the different inputs and color-coded systems that you can take and use. We'll go to the manual for this so we can break this down. Now, on the AVR back, we've got the radio antenna connectors that are here on the left-hand side. It's got a Wi-Fi antenna connector. Comes with a special Wi-Fi antenna. You can clip that on, away you go. You can, of course, directly plug it into your network. Across the top here, you have the HDMI input connectors into HDMI output connectors. These are super handy to have. The more the better. Analog video connectors that you have in this area here. Those are those multicolors that you're seeing in this area. Across this area, you have 3 different optical places you can plug in. You've got your normal orange plug, and then you've got the 2 lighted fiber optic, whatever you want to call them, sort of optical things. In here, we have the analog audio connectors, where you can take and plug in analog stuff if that's what you use. And down here, we have the out connectors and the subwoofer connectors. So this is going to help you in that area. Here we also have the IR and trigger connectors that are right in here where you can take and set them up, these very small little holes that you see there. Also across the back, it has all the different plugs for your receivers and speaker connectors, etc., etc. Digital audio connectors, of course, we covered those. It has a plug here for an RS-232 connector. You got your fan vent, and you've got an on-off switch. This is important to have. So you've got an on-off in the front and an on-off in the back. Also, you got an AC input connector, which of course is probably one of the most important things of this component to take and have. So you can see how these work here, and it's really nice, especially having the HDMI across the top. You can easily plug them in and out, change them, get them set up, and away you go. Okay, so let's take a look at the Harman Kardon 3700. We've got it set up here. You can see here, this is the remote that it comes with it. It's a very, very beautiful remote, very kind of a blisk looking. At first I didn't think I'd like it because it's so huge, but it actually is incredibly efficient, customizable, and the beautiful thing is it's really hard to lose, and it's really good looking. I mean, it really makes you proud of the system that you have and the investment you make in the Harman Kardon product. Really is very, very beautiful, and we've started to scratch it up, unfortunately, but it's a very beautiful remote, very hard to lose, very impressive looking. Now, the other thing that comes with the Harman Kardon, most receivers have this, is a sound unit that you can plug into the front of your receiver, and you can put the wire cord, you put this out to where you normally would be sitting and where you normally receive your sound, and what it will do is take and balance out your speakers for you so that you can know the proper left, right, distance, all that sort of good stuff. Does an incredible job. Very impressed with it. So we'll talk about that here more in a bit. We were very impressed with the Harman Kardon setup. In fact, I've never had anyone work as good as the Harman Kardons did. So here you can see the receiver. We've got it plugged into our stereo. Now we've got this lit up a bit, so it looks a little bit brighter on this video. But you can see here, it's got a great screen to it. It's not obtrusive in the way that it's built, where it's designed to be very bright. You've got of course, your volume over here where you can go up and down. You can control everything. You've got your power over here, and once it powers down, it will go to device sleep mode and turn to an orange. You've got on your front your headphones, USB, if you want to plug in your iPod, stuff like that. HDMI input in the front, you can do that. And of course, you've got your individual different controls you can take and do. Most times you're not going to use these. You're just going to use reuse the remote control. So that's what most people take and do. So it's very beautiful, and of course you can control how bright the screen is and everything with the system and menu that we'll show you in a second. What we're going to do is we're going to go and back this light off, though, so that you can kind of see how this would sit on a shelf or maybe in a stand. It's very dark. It's very unobtrusive. Like I said, it's not really in your face. The brightest thing, of course, is the volume. And, of course, that's what you need to find the quickest sometimes, especially if the volume or something comes on too loud. But it does look really, really beautiful wherever you put it. It's just a really, really, really good-looking machine. Okay, so one thing that's really great about the Harman Kardon 3700 AVR is it's got a totally customizable, you can really go deep into being able to adjust and customize everything you want to take and do with this. Now, of course, you've got source select that you can take and use with the remote that helps you pick different sources and all that good stuff. Let's see if we can't get to that. And, of course, you can see here the different sources you can select from that are on the device. Now, what's really cool is when you set up the source, you can choose several different ways to make it work for you. You can see here they have audio effects that you can take and do. You can go in and control your Dolby volume, etc., etc. And you've got video modes that you can take and have. These are adjustable to different things and everything else. Everything is very customizable on the features here. Surround sound modes you can take and choose from. Where you want your HDMI going out to, into, everything else. Everything is completely customizable, even the resolution display you can take and do here. You can see this also goes up to 4K and 2K. So very cool if you've got those type of TVs, or you can afford those type of TVs right now. You can see here some of the other different things you can do, Zone 2 audio, etc., etc. So I really, really like the customization process they have in the menu that you can take and do. Now, what's really cool is their speaker setup. Now, I've been through a billion receivers that have these automatic setups, blah, 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 and they never get the sound right. Never, never, never. But the most mind-blowing experience I've had that's awesome with the Harman Kardon 3700 is it did probably the most perfect job of setting up my speaker systems all by itself, and it does a fairly long process in setting it up. So it's very impressive that way, and it did an awesome job setting up my 5.2 setup. I was just mind-blown. I don't believe I've ever heard a more perfect setup done, and of course they give you the device to take and do that on with the Harman Kardon 3700. So very impressive on that. You've got Zone 2 here where you can set this up, etc., etc. if you want to do more than one zone. Let's see. Systems. You can see here you can adjust the panel brightness in the front end. This thing's really smart. You can even adjust it to where you can add Bluetooth. You can add a Bluetooth thing to it. It's an additional thing you have got to order from Harman Kardon. You can control your HDMI output. You can see CC power control. You can even go in here and, of course, do your network settings. You can choose between wireless and basically plugged in network for yourself, so you can choose between the two of those, which is really nice. You can see here you can adjust everything. It's really crazy how much control you have over the menu and being able to control how everything operates. You can even, of course, upgrade your software. So I'm very impressed with it from that aspect. And of course, you can do a settings lock if you want to, I don't know, keep the kids out of your stereo or something of that nature. So really cool menu, and I just love how customizable everything is to being able to adjust where you want to put sources, where you want to put input, output, all that sort of good stuff. Very, very cool. Okay, folks, so unfortunately we can't bring you, what the stereo sounds like, or at least a decent representation that you would get to experience. So we'll just end here with the HarmanKardon.com website. Our overall experience and rating for the Harman Kardon AVR 3700 is 2 thumbs up, if not 2 entire hands up. It is a beautiful, extraordinary, just awesome machine. From the moment I plugged it in and hooked it up to my stereos, you're looking at 7.2 channel sound that's powered at 125 watts per channel. I was just blown away. I have some really nice, beautiful Infinity speakers, some very nice JBL 590 BKs that play awesome, and some beautiful JBL center speakers. And I think the 520 is the version I have for those. And they, for the first time I heard those speakers. I've never heard them before, even though I've owned some of them for years. And really what it was the sound design and the beautiful put together of the Harman Kardon AVR 3700 and how it applies the sound. Really just heard my speakers for the first time. I call people over. I'm like, come over. You got to listen to the way speakers sound like. I've never heard them sound like this. It was just awesome. I've made the mistake in years past of owning kind of dumbed down receivers, and it really has cost me now that I really see what buying and investing in a high-powered receiver can do for you at getting the watts to your really nice speakers that you own and making them sound as beautiful as they were originally designed. So please don't make the same mistakes I did. From my experience that I've had so far with the Harman Kardon AVR 3700, I paid twice as much for it. The sound and being able to hear my speakers for the first time is just almost a priceless experience for me. So I've been very, very, very impressed. And I've tried a lot of really nice, expensive receivers. Harman Kardon is best that I've found so far. So I advise you to check it out, make an investment in a great receiver, and we just love it. It's just been an awesome experience. I got to tell you, the gaming experience, plugging in for gaming into the Xbox, whether you're watching movies, whether you're just listening to music, is freaking awesome. And the beautiful sound that it takes and gets out of that that music and sound is awesome as a place for your speakers. So I'd highly recommend it. The iOS app that's on the iPhone and the Android app that's on the Android, pretty limited, but most other companies that have those also are very limited. It's kind of a gimmick right now. really, if you have something this high end, you're not going to be goofing off with your phone to take and utilize it and control it. You're going to have a nice system. You're going to have speakers. You're going to have a beautiful setup that people are going to come over and go, ooh, and I doubt you're going to be fiddling with your phone much. Maybe the apps will get better. So I wasn't too impressed with the apps, but I haven't been impressed with the apps with any other maker of receivers. So let that be noted. In the end, just a beautiful, beautiful experience. I can't rave enough about it, and we've just loved it. It's just been awesome sounding. So make an investment. It's worth the money you're going to take and invest in it, and I'd highly recommend you do it. Harman Kardon, the AVR 3700, newest line out for them, and just a beautiful device we saw at CES, and now we've gotten a chance to receive and play with. So be sure to check it out. Be sure to watch for us to review all the other Harman Kardon, JBL, all those products under the Harman Kardon line that we'll be reviewing in the near future, and of course from everyone else on the Chris Voss Show. Be sure to check it out. Thanks for coming by the chrisvossshow.com. Be sure to check back in often.